Hey guys, this is FPA Tips and welcome back to another live stream. Sorry for the disturbance. The previous one got interrupted because there's a lot of network problem. So just let me know if you guys can see the stream and can hear me clearly. Hi Ojasvi, hi Fungi, hi Avinash. Okay, sorry for the stream disruption. If it doesn't work out here because there's a lot of network problem, we might have to switch to Instagram, but we'll do the stream for sure. So don't worry. So till then, the YouTube server works. We can do it here. Okay, people coming in. We'll start with my wildcard draft if I was wildcarding. So not much changes in defense as of now. De Bruyne. Okay, let's say if De Bruyne is injured, we'll go about it that way. It's for the board. We'll do it. We'll do the preview and the draft in the same stream because I feel like it's already Wednesday, so might not as well get a lot of time before game week 5 deadline. Okay, so I'll just give you my draft, which I'm planning out to. I haven't made a draft with Sun and Kane both, so that's something we can also look out for in this stream. But apart from that, we can go with the pretty much obvious picks. Yeah, with De Bruyne, I think it's more of muscle fatigue, and I'm not sure if it's a deep injury. So if he trains with the City squad in the next 2 days, I feel like he'll be good to start. They'll play 4-3-3 inside forwards on both sides. Okay, we'll start with draft one. People of everyone, you can put your wildcard drafts in the chat, and then we'll discuss each draft one by one. Okay, then I'm also planning to put in Grealish there, maybe Watkins depending on the budget, and I also plan into getting Pulisic. I feel like he's one of those differentials required at this moment of time in the game. Which shall we start this week? Tough one. I think if he trains with the team, he'll be able to start because this is the problem he's been having from Leicester itself, like the time he was in Leicester, and he did continue to play for a long while with the injury. So looks like if he trains, he'll start, but can't say for sure. If he doesn't, it's actually better for my team because then James gets a start as well. Son, Kane, and Bale. I wouldn't triple up on Spurs right away. At max double. I wouldn't even double up. If I had to, I'd go Son and Kane. If I had to. For me, Anto, if people who are not really going for Antonio, you can put Mope into your teams because then he becomes a placeholder for Antonio in game week 8. Okay, so the first wildcard draft we have from Varun is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Watkins, Jimenez. Okay, we can actually just recreate that draft over here. De Bruyne, Havertz. He does have Son, Salah, and he does not have Rodriguez. It seems that's a 4 midfield and 4.5 midfielder. So let's say we have Son and we have a 4.5 midfielder and Robo, Lamptey, Semedo, Mitchell, and 4.5. Martinez tier, Lamptey is there. Semedo for size. Feel like also with size, there's a lot of discussion on the Wolves forums that he'll be benched with Marcel playing the left centre back role, and then the new signing. 8 Newry getting a chance on the left wing back role. He's 5 million. So if that happens, I will actually switch size to 8 Newry as soon as that happens because he's zero point 0.5 cheaper than Sabido as well. Okay, so this is what he's proposed, what Varun has proposed. So there are two players which we can't auto pick because of the budget constraint. But yeah, this is how he's planning to line up. I think it's not Pulisic because he might be out of budget. So we get in Havertz. Okay, so Havertz is even more expensive. So it depends on your total team value at the moment. How about Mitrovic since his next fixtures good look? His fixtures good look on paper, but the fact that Fulham have been attackingly not great enough. I mean, they're not creating enough chances for Mitrovic. At the moment, I feel like he is merely getting chances. Kamara had a good chance, but they're not finishing them off. So if you look them on paper, they are good fixtures. But do you see Fulham scoring a lot of goals with Mitrovic on the end? I am not that sure. I feel like Mope, Wilson, Antonio offer much better value. Even Bamford and Watkins. So for me, Mitrovic does not stand out in the attacker option, especially with the price range. You have everyone around that 5.7 to 6.5 range. Yeah, I think you should definitely kick out Maguire from your team. I feel like United should strip off the captaincy from Maguire because I feel like it's hampering the team a lot. Also, with a lot of people will have Greenwood and Rashford, which are also good captaincy shouts this week because United will probably play a 3-5-2 with Bruno maybe missing out, then no Marshall and Cavani for them. So if you have Rashford or Greenwood, keep them in your teams. Twins says a 3-4-3. Martinez, Robertson, Chilwell, Castagne, Sara Rodriguez, Sunclich, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, and Jimenez. I feel like Vardy is maybe a very tricky pick at the moment. You might want to downgrade Vardy to another budget attacker and upgrade your midfield to Grealish or probably Pulisic or Havertz if you want to. Well, says this season is all about cheap forwards. Too many options there. Watkins, Wilson. Yes, that's exactly what I said. I feel like Mitrovic does not stand out in that budget pick options. Yash Verma says draft one defense Robertson, Kyle Walker, Peter Lamptey, Dallas Mitchell. Midfield is Kevin De Bruyne, Son Salah, Grealish, Bissouma, Brewster, Kane, Calvert Lewin. Or he's going with Antonio. I feel like if I had to pick between Son and Kane, let's address this. If I had to pick between Son and Kane as a transfer, I would go Kane because it gives you a captaincy option there for much more than one game week, especially against West Ham. But if you're looking at wildcard, Son does fit more aptly in your teams because of the 1.5 million difference. So you might want to address it because if you get Kane, there's a lot of dynamics that will change. You probably will have to downgrade Robertson to someone else, or maybe Grealish to someone like Barkley. I feel like Lingard is still better than Maguire. Maguire plays decent with the English team. I feel like there has to be some problem with the tactics as well. Dheeraj says, why don't you go with Vardy? I feel like the team is not performing that well. He's 10 million, he's an expensive player. But again, if you put in chip in point 0.6 or point 0.5 more, you get Aguero and Kane, who are performing. Aguero, you know he's a standout player. Once he's back, he's going to perform consistently. I feel like Vardy is too much of money for the value he's giving at the moment. Thanks, Hayati. Thanks for joining the stream. Are you taking a minus 8 hit? No, I'm not taking a minus 8 hit. I was actually trying to figure out a way to put Kane into my team just for the captaincy, but I feel like it's going to require a minus 8 hit, which I'm not really comfortable with. So probably will not go Kane and not take a minus 8. Minus 4 is yes, it's on the cards depending on Kevin De Bruyne's injury. So my transfer plan this week is if Kevin De Bruyne is fit, it's Rodriguez to Son, and that's it. That's it for this week. Maybe Podence to Grealish if I feel like, a Podence to Pulisic if I have the money. If Kevin De Bruyne is ruled out from the game week, then Kevin De Bruyne to Son and Podence to Pulisic makes the move. Exactly, Varun. You can go Kane for the next 3 to 4 game weeks, and then Kane to Aguero is a very good swap. If you have Kane Sydney, you should probably look at him as a captaincy option because if you look at the fixtures, Liverpool players against Everton not really great. Chelsea players, I'm not sure if everyone owns Chelsea players, and we're not sure how they'll play with everyone fit back now in the team. Man City, Kevin De Bruyne could have been an option, but again, he's ruled out at the moment. So I wouldn't rate Kevin De Bruyne at the moment with a 50-50 chance. Apart from that, only the Spurs West Ham fixture is something that's standing out. And I feel like Newcastle versus United, Rashford or Greenwood could, Rashford especially with penalties, could be a good shout if Bruno is ruled out. Kevin De Bruyne is not injured, he's just muscle fatigue at the moment. So probably we'll wait till Friday evening or Saturday morning to see decide whether should I keep him in my team or not. Yes, there are a lot of Chelsea assets available. Sydney, I feel like Pulisic is the one to own. But the only reason I'm not really confident with Pulisic this week is Chilwell's injury. When Chilwell is fit and Pulisic is playing, Pulisic will play in the inside forward role. Chilwell will hold the line outside and give the width to the attack. Same happens when Aspilicueta or Reece James plays on the right. So I feel like Pulisic will get inside the box more, but you've seen that Chelsea will go with Aspilicueta on the right back. That also gives us a hint that Ziyech might hold the weight on the right wing. So if you look at the midfielder options, I feel like Pulisic and Havertz stand out because Havertz is also attacking a lot. Depending on his role, if he gets more advanced role in the upcoming game weeks, you can actually prefer Havertz as well. But as of now, Pulisic looks like the standout option to me. Werner, he is heavily priced and he's not performing, so I would avoid him for now. Although if you have Werner, don't sell him because probably this is the game week he gets a goal finally in the Premier League. Will Justin start this week? For every Justin owner, I have a good news. Ricardo Pereira might not return to pitch exactly as planned. He might take another international break to return to complete fitness. So we're aiming at game week 10. It could be game week 8, but doesn't look like at the moment. So hopefully game week 10 is when we see Ricardo Pereira back. And until then, I feel like Justin will continue to start. Uh, Varun says Kevin De Bruyne to Grealish, Wood to Kane, but that also hampers the entire planning I have ahead because it leaves you with almost no money. So we'll have to look at it as a long-term move because we can't just bring in Kane just for captaincy, but also have to look of the future game weeks as well. I also plan to get in Bruno eventually in game week 10 because they play West Brom, game week 9 or 10 because they play West Brom and I know that he's on penalties. Please try a draft with Kane, Son, Kevin De Bruyne, Salah. You Son plus Kane alongside Kevin De Bruyne and Salah. It almost becomes impossible. You will have to hamper a lot of your players. We can try it, but again, it gets really tough to fit in all of them. Let's actually try. Let's see who all we will have to remove. Okay, so straight away we need to remove Rodriguez because for a 4.5 midfielder. Let's take Eleni in our teams. Still 3 million short. James will have to become a 4.5 defender. Let's say Walker Peters, and we're still short of money. Robertson will also have to go. Let's auto pick. So you realize if you're picking Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Son, and Kane, you're heavily investing on attack. Point number one. You can also downgrade Jimenez to a 6 million attacker and upgrade Robertson. You can try doing that as well. The only options you will have is Watkins and Bamford. So probably looks like Watkins is a good option if you're on wildcard at the moment to hold on to Robertson in your team. But again, you're stuck with Podence, and then also all the defenders you have are decent, they're not great. Something to watch out for, but this is a team how it will look like if you want Salah, De Bruyne, Son, and Kane. I always rate Dominic Calvert-Lewin as a must-have for the entire season, so you don't have to remove that. Watkins does look like the best option out there. Dheeraj, he did not really prove his worth of 10 million till now. I feel like all the penalty, if you remove the penalties, his stats are really, really poor. So, also with the referees and the umpires given the liberty of not and leniency of not giving away penalties so easily from now on, will actually affect his score. And that's what we saw against West Ham. He did not have really any big chance in the game, and I feel like this trend will continue to happen apart from the game against Aston Villa because I know he has a great record against Aston Villa and it's an unpredictable game. If you look at his fixtures apart from that, he faces Arsenal, Leeds, Wolves, Liverpool in the next five. Do you see Vardy actually proving his worth of 10 million when you have other players like Kane who have easy fixtures? I really don't think so. If you still want to go Vardy, it's a decent option if you want to spend that money. Pulisic or Havertz, Kaneshka, I would go Pulisic. Others says on a wildcard, both Salah and Mane, considering City's form and fixtures, you can double up on Salah and Mane. Decent fixtures, especially after their game against Everton. So Sheffield, West Ham, Man City, Leicester, Brighton, Wolves. Decent fixtures. You can definitely double up on them. Hey, any chance of Ferguson coming back? I feel like he's the farthest away from return to pitch time. I don't see him coming back anytime soon. There's no information given by the Crystal Palace team of when he'll be returning back. For the people who are on wildcard, avoid him. I'm not sure even if he comes back, he'll start. Captain Kevin De Bruyne or Kane or Son. I feel like if you have Kane, Kane is a good standout captain shot. Watkins good, Wilson Mope, or who is better long term? I feel like Watkins is a good long term pick. Mope as a placeholder for Antonio in game week 8 or 9 is also good. Makedeep says, have both Kane and Son, who's the better captaincy? Kane, Ings or Jimenez, same price, was thinking about Jimenez just for fixtures. I feel like Jimenez is getting a lot of chances. He is due a goal. And yes, his fixtures are better than Ings. So probably Jimenez because of the factor that his fixtures are much better. Although both do not look in great form, but also another plus point for Ings is that he's very clinical. So he'll score the odd chance he gets. With Jimenez, he does require a couple of more chances. Yeah, I feel like Wood to Watkins is going to happen for me for sure. Unless I plan to go Grealish in midfield and then I go Bamford instead of Wood. Start Mitchell or Dallas? Dallas. Who to start? Lamptey, James, Size, Mitchell, Taylor. Feels looks like Lamptey, James, and Size are better options. Bench Mitchell as your second sub, Taylor as your first sub. Uh, Best for gaming five, I feel like Lamptey is the better one. With attack, he has attacking returns in his bag as well. So yeah, Lamptey. Bruno to Son. If you have Bruno and if you don't have any Spurs assets, definitely do it. Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin for captain. Kevin De Bruyne is a risk. If he's playing for sure, go for him. If he's not, then go Salah. Salah is always the safe captain. This game week, it looks like Son might be the better captain. I'm really not sure of how the game week will pan out for Spurs versus West Ham. On paper, it looks like Spurs is going to thrash West Ham and they might score a couple of goals. But if you look at the stats really carefully, West Ham have been defensively excellent. So I'm not expecting a lot of goals, be it West Ham, be it Spurs. Could be a 2-all, according to me. It could be a disappointment for Spurs. But again, I'm not really sure if either of Son or Kane will heavily explode like they did it against Southampton or United. What's a call on Foden? If I'm stuck with him for the next three fixtures, then he'll become Pulisic because Jimenez will go down to Wilson. If you have Foden, probably play him because Manchester City is definitely out of options at the moment. So looks like Foden will continue to start. They want to give him more time in that David Silva role. So shouldn't be a rotation risk at the moment. And yeah, if you have him, play him. Yeah, Salah is playing the first game. The factor is that if your captaincy goes bad in the first game, your entire week is ruined. So probably stay away from that. Salah is still a decent shout because I think Yerry Mina is out. So Ben Godfrey is the player who will start for Everton this week. He might get a chance to start for Everton in the derby, and there might be a good match, but we do not know how the game will pan out. It's usually a very low scoring game. I think the Everton side will especially dominate the left flank and target it, but we'll discuss this in the preview section. We'll just complete a couple of more drafts. So this is one of those drafts where we have Son and Kane both alongside De Bruyne. If you don't want De Bruyne, you can definitely downgrade De Bruyne, which I would recommend to James Rodriguez or Pulisic, and upgrade Podence or Elneny for sure. I feel like you need to have more stable players in your team than heavy hitters because you need to look at the overall balance in the team. So for me, Podence out, and then probably since you have Watkins, go for the Chelsea assets. You can go Mahrez as well, but then again, heavy rotation risk. Yeah, that also allows you 1.2 in the bank, so you can probably upgrade your defenders if you want, or even Watkins if it requires upgrade at all. Not a lot of people are sending in their drafts. What is the high? James, he only played ahead because of Richarlison got injured, else he's the playmaker. Yes, but his big chances are actually decent. Two of them came against Brighton without a doubt out of the four, but he still created two big chances for himself. So that's something you look out for. But yeah, if Richarlison is back, I feel like against Liverpool, especially, he's going to hold that midfield and he's going to put that long diagonal balls out to probably the right hand wing, or if Coleman is attacking or Kenny is playing, and on the left to Deeney and Richarlison. As a long term pick, if you hold on to him, it's a decent fixture. To be honest, his next two fixtures after Liverpool are Southampton and Newcastle. Good fixtures, but it's not a mandatory hold. So for me, for a person who's looking on to bringing in Sun, I feel like since Podence cannot be removed for Sun because of budget constraint, I feel like the only player I can remove is James Rodriguez, because I do have a backup in place of as Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton. So you know that the creation will come from James. It could be an assist, but then the end product could be from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Between Castagna, Chilwell, Reguilon, Telles, who would be a good pick for the next three fixtures? Specifically, next three fixtures. Chelsea for sure not, because then they play United and Southampton. I don't feel they'll keep a clean sheet in both the games. I feel like Southampton will also score, United will score. Telles is out of option. Don't go to near the United defensive assets at all. Reguilon does make a very good case for himself. His next three fixtures are West Ham, then they play Burnley, and then they play Brighton. So yeah, Brighton only is a team which can score against them, even West Ham. But again, there's a lot of attacking potential there as well. Chilwell again injury risk, and Castagna is decent as well, but he's heavily highly priced because he's 5.8 now. So if you have the extra money, you might want to risk it with him, because he's not defensively. He's not playing that defensive role in Leicester. He's going to attack a lot. Who should I think of replacing Chilwell with, or should I stick with him for this week? Stick with him. If you have Chilwell, you brought him this week or last week, so stick with him. Don't remove him as soon as it's not a long term injury, unless Lampard comes out and say that he's out for a couple of months or a couple of weeks. Don't remove him. Antonio or Mope for the next three. For the next three, Mope fixtures over form at the moment, because Antonio could score a couple of goals, but then it's tough against City and Liverpool. James Rodriguez over the break for Colombia, 75. Yes, I read that stat. 75 minutes in the early hours of Saturday morning, 90 minutes in the early of Wednesday morning. Um, I think he'll be fit enough. I shouldn't be an issue, especially at the derby, and you know it's for the tabletop position. If Everton win that game, they go clear off the table. So yeah, shouldn't be a problem, to be honest. He will, as usual, get rotated at the 70-minute mark. But thoughts on Bellerin? Bellerin has been doing great defensively. You can look at the Arsenal assets, but their fixtures don't look great after a certain period of time. In the next 5 6, they have Man City, Leicester United, Aston Villa, Leeds, Wolves, Tottenham up till game week 11. All of these teams are teams which can attack. I feel like Leicester is the only team which against which they can keep a clean sheet. Aston Villa putting great numbers attacking wise. Man City will attack, United will attack, or if they don't attack, they'll get a penalty. Leeds does great attacking wise. Wolves is also decent. There could be a potential clean sheet there as well. Tottenham is doing great. So if you own him, don't remove him, but then I wouldn't recommend buying him at the moment. Yash Sharma says defense Robertson, Kyle Walker, Peter Lamb to Dallas. Okay, we'll put that into context. Let's bring in Dallas. I really like the pick of Dallas. 4.5 midfielder. Definitely rate him over Ailing at the moment, getting into better positions. So if I had to pick someone between Dallas and Ailing, I said it in the in the video as well, I would pick Dallas for sure. And he's going Kyle Walker Peter over size. So that's also an interesting pick, because most people will go to that Wolves defense despite of their poor run at the moment. Son, Salah, Grealish, Pulisic, and he has Kevin De Bruyne as well. So that's a heavy midfield. Son, Salah, Pulisic, Grealish probably has compromised a bit on the attack. Let's leave it for Pulisic. We know it's going to fit in there. And then in attack, we have Brewster, Mope, and Calvert Lewin. Brewster, yes, don't worry about Brewster. He'll get the minutes. I know his fixtures in the next three are tough. They face a couple of big sides, but then after that, they get decent. And he's a long term pick, in my opinion. So if you're going for Brewster, it's a very decent pick. Between Mope and Antonio, I feel like Mope is the one to hold on to at the moment. But as soon as West Ham's fixture get better, without a doubt, I would go to Antonio. I feel like he's the man who has the higher ceiling with good fixtures. Probably should put Pulisic into my wish list because I'm gonna pick him very often in the draft making. Replace Taylor. Don't replace him. Hold on to him if you have him. There's no standout option. If you want to go Dallas, it's a free transfer. If you have literally nothing else to move out from your team, then you can. But don't replace him as a free transfer unless you have literally no other move to make. Thoughts on getting Robertson in for James? Please consider Allison fixtures, Chilwell injury, etc. Uh, and- okay, so you're saying that you're going Robertson in defense and removing James Rodriguez from your midfield. Uh, I think the Allison issue shouldn't be that great. I know that Adrian is bad in goal, his stats are not great, but then Robertson is posting good attacking returns. Decently 5 points per game week till now, which is very good. From 7 million midfielder, that's what exactly what we expect. So a decent point run at the moment. But if you ask me if you want to replace a midfielder for Robertson at the moment with no clean sheets, I would be very hesitant, especially for the likes of James Rodriguez going out. Chilwell, as said, if he's going to be good only for the crosses, I don't expect Chilwell to get a lot of goals. I know he's going to play in that wide. He'll hug the wide line a lot. That's definitely going to happen. I see that happening at Chelsea very soon. As soon as Pulisic and Chilwell start playing together. Okay, what's my transfer plan? Says Varun. Just a second. Okay, so Varun says not James Rodriguez is Reece James. If it's Reece James, there's no doubt. Go for Robertson without a question, without a thought into your mind. Go for Robertson for sure. I've come to a point where I know my team isn't performing yet. There are too many options now that I think I'll sit back and hope my team performs. Yes, there are a lot of options. I feel like a lot of people were worrying about price changes and they lose value, but it doesn't matter because for every position, for every single position, you have a lot of options this season, and each of the options are really good considering that fixtures are decent. So don't worry much about price changes and team value. Also, another important note, I feel like the price changes. A lot of people were saying that Sun is not rising. I feel like this year Premier League has taken account into the wildcard moves, and I feel like they are not considering the wildcard moves because it definitely becomes an unfair advantage to them. So that is the reason why I feel the price rise is not that accurate, and a lot of our algorithms are not adjusting as well. Apart from that, there could also be a possibility that if a player is flagged injured, they would not increase their price, but there has been no clarity given by the Premier League whatsoever. Mope, Bamford, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Son, Salah, Pulisic, Rodriguez, Grealish, Robertson, Castagna, Dallas, Kilman, Mings, Martinez, McCarthy. Only 1 point, Sahil. Don't double up on your keeper. There's no point of doubling up on your keeper. If you want another defender, downgrade McCarthy to someone else and buy in Walker Peters because that gives you a playing option. To be honest, you do not know which keeper will keep a clean sheet. And let's say you feel like Martinez and McCarthy both will keep a clean sheet. Then who do you play? If you play Martinez and McCarthy keeps a clean sheet, you're done. So rather get the defender in your team that gives you an option of going back at the four at the back as well. Remove Vardy for Grealish and replacement for Vardy. Then, if you're removing Vardy, try getting in Kane. That's the best replacement at the moment. Take Mitrovic for Brewster and take in Grealish in the midfield. Uh, Good move, to be honest, but fixtures are tricky for Brewster. Don't see him scoring for the next three. Also, make sure that Brewster is not your first team player. He probably should be a sub and he should come in a place where you feel like he'll score. He shouldn't be a regular starter in your team. So if you're getting Grealish, I hope you're getting a five midfield team. Yes, thanks Varun for everyone who's watching. Do hit the like button, guys. It helps everyone get notified that our stream is going good. So if you like the stream, do hit the like button. Coming on to my transfer plans, let's reset. As discussed, if Kevin De Bruyne is out injured, Kevin De Bruyne out for Hun Min Son without a doubt. I feel one thing's for sure, I'm going to remove one of the players for Hun Min Son. I feel like he is the more clinical player. Although yes, captaincy wise, Kane does stand out better, but I feel like the 1.5 makes a lot of difference in my team. Sun out, Podence out, Pulisic in. That's what I'm planning at the moment. If Kevin De Bruyne is out, if Kevin De Bruyne is not out, then it becomes slightly trickier because then I will probably remove James Rodriguez out for Sun. So if you ask me, I really want Kevin De Bruyne to stay out of the this game week because that gives me the 3-4 midfield I want, and I really want James Rodriguez for Newcastle and Southampton. But already have Son. I only want one Spurs asset that's perfect to him. I get your point because either of those two assets will score. That's why I said Vardy replacement for Grealish, and if so, then whom? Great point. If you already have Son, then I feel like there's no real urgency of removing Vardy. You can hold on to him for the Aston game. If you don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, go for him. If you have him, then I think Vardy can be and hold on for a couple of games because you already have the Spurs asset. There's you can probably wait out for Aguero. That gives you an option. Looks like you might miss out or might not have Kevin De Bruyne. If you have him, then you can also look at Aguero and then Kevin De Bruyne to Mane. I have one free transfer, so it's going to be a -4 hit if Kevin De Bruyne is injured. D may keep a sell, probably keep because Everton will keep a couple of clean sheets in the upcoming game weeks. But long term, if you can upgrade, if you don't have Robertson, upgrade and look at Castagne or Chilwell and Reguilon for the long term. Long term, go for a cheaper option. I don't feel a lot of clean sheets in the bank of Everton because of Pickford. His errors are too many, and you know his save percentage is decent, but he's making a lot of errors too. So wouldn't really risk. And attacking wise, also you have seen that Dean is not putting in crosses. Yes, he's on set pieces, uh, only at in certain occasions because James is taking a chunk of them. So yeah, Richarlison is the one who's heavily dominating the ball on the left flank. Should I sell Kevin De Bruyne and Bruno? Bruno, maybe if you want to go to Sun, Kevin De Bruyne, hold on until there's concrete news of his injury. If Kevin De Bruyne is injured, and I know I'm going to remove him and then might not get him for a couple of game weeks, we'll avoid him for the four fixtures, the tough fixtures he have, and then we'll bring him in later on. If you look at his fixtures, I think he plays Liverpool, and that's Liverpool and Tottenham. So I'll bring him probably after Tottenham. Thoughts on this wildcard team: Martinez, Dallas, Robertson, Lamptey, Samedo, uh, Sterling, Salah. I like Sterling, especially. Also, I'm very keen. Sorry to interrupt, others. Also, I'm keen to remove Kevin De Bruyne, and to be honest, I'm very okay with it because I really like Sterling as a pick. So that also gives me the liberty to bring in Sterling later on because a sideways move from Kevin De Bruyne to Sterling might not work out well, but in the long term, Sterling could prove really differential. Going on, so Salah, Son, Pulisic, Grealish, Dominic Calvert, Mitrovic, and Brewster. I don't really like the pick of Mitrovic. Probably go to Mope if you can, or Watkins. Since you have Grealish, you might not want Watkins. Probably Bamford if possible. Mope is the best shout, and then Antonio later on. If you don't have the budget for Mope, if you have the budget for Antonio, go for Antonio. I still feel Antonio is a better pick than Mitrovic. What are the chances of Sterling playing? According to me, it's 100% sure that he'll start. I feel like the whole hamstring issue was made up only to get him off the international duty. I don't have any City as expected. Want Aguero, but waiting to see him play. I feel like Aguero is a very dependable player. So for your team specifically, hold on to Vardy and bring in Aguero when he's fit as soon as he's playing decent. Yes, that's exactly what I expected. That you probably will be out of the City assets at the moment. To him, so yeah, perfect thinking. Vardy out for Aguero as soon as you see Aguero in form. Is Mane fit? Yes, he's fit. He's back in training. Bissouma or Mitchell whom to start? I feel like Mitchell. CFC, KTB, FFH. Wildcarded Martinez, Foster, Chilwell, Mitchell, Dallas, Lamptey, Kyle Walker, Peters, Son, Grealish, Pulisic, Salah, James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Kane, and Bamford. That looks like a lot of money. Uh, Okay, you're missing out on City assets. Yeah, fair enough if you don't want to go to City assets and you want to double up on Tottenham, but I really don't expect them to score 6 goals each game week in and out. But yeah, since they are actually performing at the moment, it's not that bad. Personally, I would not go double up. It's to investing a lot of your money in two people. How does Sterling do with Aguero? He does decent. I mean, it's not just going to be Aguero. You know, he's going to get rotated with Jesus after a period of time as well. Antonio or Wilson after 3 game weeks. Antonio without a doubt. Oba will he start? Oba does look like having a small ankle injury. Should be fit enough to start for the Man City game. Kevin De Bruyne hold or sell? Wait for the news until Saturday morning at the very least. And if there's a 50-50 chance and you want him back after game week 5, play him. Don't bench him. The exact same advice I gave for Son. Play him. If he's not playing, he'll not come on probably. And then you will have your substitution player on for him. But if it's a long term move like me, I don't want De Bruyne for the next 4 game weeks. Then probably sell. Otherwise, hold. Yes, Aguero is looking injury prone. That's because I think like Pep was rushing him a bit, but now he's given him a lot of time to recover and train through the individual training programs. Should be okay. I was thinking about Ryan and Target instead of Martinez Lamptey only because I would want to play Lamptey every game, and without him I wouldn't have headache. No, I feel like Lamptey is the better pick over Ryan. He has the attacking returns, and you know he's playing very attacking, so wouldn't risk him for a player like Target. Which City asset would you suggest? I would strongly suggest Kevin De Bruyne if he's fit. Despite of his two blanks, I feel like he's really consistent and he is a long term player. So if he's fit, Kevin De Bruyne. Second, I would go Sterling because of the differential factor, and then Aguero if he whenever you feel like he's going to start. Yes, definitely keep faith in the Liverpool defense. So you know that Klopp will address the defensive woes they had in against Aston Villa, and with Thiago back in the team, you know they're going to strengthen up that defensive side. Uh, only the only problem with Trent is that each team that plays on the left wing, like Everton, is going to exploit that side a lot. With Trent, yes, there are less number of crosses as compared to Robertson. Robertson has more goals. I'm not sure about the assist stat, but I think it's equal, and Robertson has bigger chances as well, more big chances as well. So between Trent and Robertson, hold on to him. If you have Trent, hold on to Trent as well. I feel like long term, Trent or Robertson, either of which player you have, you need to hold on to them. Best captains have Sterling, Jimenez, Richarlison, Salah, or Barnes. Sterling, tricky one. I would go Salah because he's consistent. Yes, I feel like Sun did save a couple of minutes, at least for the ones who joined this team. Okay, we'll move on to the game week preview. We'll do a quick preview and we'll answer a couple of questions left you guys have. Pope or Guaita, bro? At the moment, Guaita, great run of fixtures. Should I play Sterling with Sun? If you have no other option to get Sun, you probably want to, but also look at the factor that are you going to captain Sun? If you're not going to captain Son, probably wait for another game week because I feel like the Spurs West Ham game will be a very good test for the Spurs assets to see how attacking they play. Also, it will give you a look of how the team is going to play with Bale into the side. Will Bruno play this game week? Can't really say a lot about it because we don't know. It's the COVID situation. It's not an injury, so really can't say a lot about it. If the club says he's fit enough and past to play, he'll play. Otherwise, he won't. There's no grey patch in that thing. Aninda Das, and you think Jimenez is a better pick than Ings? And are you thinking about Everton double up or holding it? I feel like yes, Jimenez is the better pick. We discussed this in the stream earlier because of the fixtures, solely because of the fixtures. And Everton double up. If there is no other way to get in, then I might let go of James Rodriguez. But otherwise, it does still look like decent double up. I mean, I would prefer the Tottenham double up than the Everton double up. But hopefully, I feel like the Everton midfield James Rodriguez will eventually make way for Grealish, Pulisic, or Son in my team. Talking about fixtures, we talked about Everton Liverpool. I feel like it's going to be a very heavy. game where both teams are attacking a lot. The left flank from Everton will be flooded and exploited because Trent and Gomez both are defensively not that great, and they do leave a lot of spaces behind them. Henderson will provide a lot of benefit, lot of stability to the team because yes, we've seen that without Henderson, Liverpool is not the same side. So yes, Henderson is back and he'll provide great strength to the team and stability to the team. Chelsea Southampton easy win for Chelsea should be around 3-0 3-1 for them. Southampton again don't see them winning this game or scoring a lot of goals. Man City Arsenal is going to be a lot of it's going to be a tricky game because we'll not see how Thomas Partey will fit into the side and play. Yes, he'll definitely provide much more defensive stability for the side, but then cities without their major players like Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, and maybe even Aguero doesn't make it to the squad. If Kevin De Bruyne is out, I wouldn't go near the City assets for captaincy. CFC, I've already answered that. Pope or Goita. Gomez might not play. Yes, correct. Matip is fit. I realized that when I was saying it, I was about to correct that. But irrespective of the fact that Trent does not fall back, he does not run behind to recover the ball, and we've seen this a lot of times. That exactly thing happened against Leeds United as well. Leeds knew that Trent will not track back, and they definitely exploited that side. Also, very important point to note: if Kevin De Bruyne is not playing, do not really rely on the Man City captaincy options. If Kevin De Bruyne is playing, Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne both make a good captaincy shout. Newcastle, Manchester United, very good fixture. If Bruno is out for Rashford, everyone who's owning Rashford could be a very good differential captain pick. And if you own Bruno, then it's a tricky one because I'm not sure if they might even play a diamond where Bruno drops back a bit. Newcastle don't really see them winning this game. Could be a tough one for United with their defensive instability in the recent fixtures, but again, looks like a comfortable win for United 2-1 or 2-0. Sheffield Fulham, not really a lot to say about this game. Hopefully, Brewster starts and we see how he's playing with the Sheffield United team. He has really made a lot of comments saying that he is the striker of the team and he wants to score a lot of goals. And he's going to stay inside the box and score goals. So hopefully, he shows us glimpse of that, and we could, as managers, could be more confident of having him as the eighth attacker and not the seventh. Crystal Palace versus Brighton. I feel like Crystal again will defend, and hopefully Brighton will keep a clean sheet this one. If you have Lamptey, play Lamptey. He's fit. Also, another injury update: Patrick Van Aanholt is back in the Crystal Palace side. Could be a chance where Mitchell does not play. So if you want to risk Mitchell this week, you might want to, because if he doesn't play, he doesn't play at all. But I feel like there's no clean sheet. Could be a 0-0 as well. But looks like 1-0 to Brighton. Trossard or Barkley? I would go Barkley. Looks like a better pick than Trossard. Now, since Jack Robinson is nailed, will he be better than Kyle Walker or Justin? Robinson had 3 shots inside the box in the last 2 matches. If Sheffield show that they're defensively back as a side that they were last season, Jack Robinson makes a good case for himself. But as of now, we've not seen that case. Uh, we've not seen those glimpses from them. Defensively, they've been unstable and they're leaky as a team at the moment. I feel like Henderson does play a big role in those clean sheets that they kept last season. Sydney says I expect Fulham to beat Sheffield. If that happens, then be very clear of we should definitely get rid of Sheffield United defensive assets. If they can't keep a clean sheet against Fulham, I really doubt they'll keep a clean sheet against any of the other Premier League sides apart from West Brom. Yes, especially with Adrian and goal, you know that the shot saving percentage drops drastically. And yes, Trent is defensively not that great. I'm on my wild card. Do you think I should keep a Wolves defender or Van Aanholt considering Palace fixtures? Good call. If you're very sure that Van Aanholt will start this fixture, then bring him in because yes, he's a better asset than the Wolves defender at the moment. Probably let go of Podence. I gave 2 reasons: because of the rotation risk, he was not that good, and also Neto scored a goal. So it might, if they play 3-5-2, then Podence might drop to the bench. Also, that all the COVID risk he has had in the past couple of days with Ronaldo getting tested positive and the Portugal squad was with him. It could be a case where Podence is also put into isolation and he misses out the game. Don't play a wild card to change your defense. Shantanu, you have a decent defense. You have Trent, Justin, James, Dallas, and Mitchell. I feel like Trent, Justin, and Dallas are definitely going to play for the next 5 game weeks. Later on, you can probably switch out James for a free transfer. Differential moving forward, best options. Best options differential. I feel like at the moment, if you want to look differential in the very low forward bracket in budget forward bracket, I feel like Watkins is a player not highly owned, 5.9 million, looks very good inside the box. So Watkins in the forward category. In midfield, I would say Pulisic. I know he's really expensive, or even Havertz. I know they're expensive picks, but they are really differential. Also, Barkley makes a very good case for himself, but I'm not sure that if Liverpool were not attacking a lot and if they're sitting behind, like a lot of teams do in the Premier League, would Barkley attack that much? So we'll have to keep a close eye on the Aston Villa assets. I feel like the only reason I'm not bringing in Grealish and I'm going for Pulisic this week or maybe keeping Wood is the fact that I want to see how Aston Villa plays against Leicester because it's not going to be a very 7 to high scoring game. We know that Leicester will also try to defend a lot. So it will really give you a clear picture of how well drilled and how good the attacking side of Aston Villa is. If they're capable enough, if they're creating good chances against Leicester and they win the game, then it becomes a no-brainer to bring in Watkins or Grealish into your team. Probably look out for Barkley as well. In defense, there isn't a very good differential at the moment, but looks like Dallas is still a player that a lot of people are not really putting emphasis on, and he looks like a good pick. Samedo and Regulion are the other two players I would pick if I had to for differentials. Replacement for Podence looks like Barkley is a decent replacement at the moment. You can go for Trossard as well, but try to free up funds and upgrade it to Grealish if possible. If at all possible, upgrade him. I want to bring in Robertson and spend those point 0.5 in getting in Pulisic. Well, if you want to make a lot of transfers, then wildcard just for two players. I feel like you probably can manage with a couple of hit or just save a transfer a game week. Should I get rid of Mitchell if I'm on wildcard? Tricky question because if you ask me personally, I feel like Patrick Van Aanholt can play in place of Schlupp and Mitchell might be given the left back role. Very tricky if you ask me. If you're not planning to play your fifth defender, which is Mitchell, then probably hold on to him. If not, then move out him out for Ferguson because that gives you hope that if Ferguson is back someday, he might get a chance. But then it's 50-50. To be honest, it's 50-50. Anyways, there's not much for 4 million options that are starting. So you might want to hold on to Mitchell if it's not a priority move for your team and you don't plan to play 5 defenders or Mitchell anytime soon. Bruno could miss out too. Yeah, we addressed that as well in the earlier part of the stream. Kane or Sun captain if you have both Kane. Mitchell, there's no guarantee that Mitchell will get benched. If you ask me, I feel like Mitchell will start and Patrick Van Aanholt will take place of Sloop. Siddhant says, should I go for Sun for his great fixtures and transfer out Bruno? Yeah, I think like if you don't have Kane, you might want to do that. At least for the next 3 to 4 fixtures when Spurs have a good run of fixtures. Up to West Brom, I feel like that's the fixture in game week 9. Okay, moving on. Crystal Palace, Brighton. We discussed Spurs. West Ham feels like a 2-2 to me, and it's going to be a really good test for the Spurs asset, especially with Bale inside into the team. I'm not sure how many minutes will he get, but it looks like he'll be able to make it to the team, at least the squad. Leicester, Aston Villa again. I feel I'm going to look out for the Aston Villa assets, and I feel like this is the game for them, and I'll be taking it as a test. Whoever looks like the best option, Watkins or Grealish, that's going to be my next move. West Brom, Burnley, not much to talk about. Burnley should easily win this game. Should be a bounce back for them. If they don't, it makes a no-brainer. Probably avoid Taylor and later on, if you have Wood like me, transfer him out. Leeds Wolf. I want to address this because I feel like this game is the one which could get postponed because of COVID-19. Uh, keep your bench very ready for this situation. Also, don't if you're on wildcard, don't just remove the player Leeds or Wolves player you have just because of one fixture, because they might even get a postponement and play a double game week very soon. So yeah, could be a COVID case and the game could be postponed. Otherwise, I feel like Jimenez with Cooper missing out, I feel like Ailing is going to play in the back three. Dallas will get a more attacking role, and Jimenez could really benefit because Wolves like to play against team which attack and they can break down on the counter. So looks like a win for me to Wolves. Not a clean sheet for both sides. Hopefully, I am expecting Wolves. I'm just hoping that Wolves keep a clean sheet. But to be very honest, it's going to be tough for them because Leeds do attack really well. Thoughts on Regulion? I have already discussed. I don't feel there's a rotation risk. If you want to, you can keep him in your team. There's very less of data and sample size to really judge him of how great he is attacking wise. But still, if you want to invest your money for clean sheet, there is a very good potential there. Stick or twist with Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne, if you are planning on to play him in game week 6, play him in your 11 and have your first substitute as a very good player. If, like me, you want to fund him for someone like Son and then bring in Kane as well, remove him. There's no problem. Don't make a sideways switch to Sterling. To me, Telles is not an option for sure. All his assists, most of his assists come from set piece. All his goals come from penalties as well, which we know in United he'll not get. So attacking wise, already his worth is not that great, and also defensively, you know how United is already playing. So, do you really expect United to keep a lot of clean sheets? A very tough call. I don't see them keeping a lot of clean sheets. Bamford or Watkins? I would rate Watkins solely because of the stats they're putting out, and we know that Aston Villa are attacking much better than last season. Pictures also favor Aston Villa, so yeah, Watkins over Bamford. If you already have Grealish, then don't double up on Aston Villa. Go for Bamford. But if you only have the only one Aston Villa player you're picking up, Watkins could be a better shot than Bamford. Masuaku, Cresswell, Bellerin, Target. Who to go? Who to get into your team? Probably Target looks like defensively more stable. Masuaku is also a good shout. Bellerin with the fixtures don't really expect a lot of clean sheets there. Okay, guys, we'll wrap up the stream. If you guys have any other last minute questions, do put them into the chat box. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the stream. We'll have to. My transfers are going to be as late as the deadline day and not before them. So, for people who are going to look out for them on the Instagram page, might as well join the stream because really we'll wait till the last minute to get some news on Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, so since there are not a lot of questions in the chat, we'll wrap up the stream here. Siddhant, we've already talked about Brewster. I'll just sum it up in very short. Don't expect a lot of assist or goals. Assist, not much. Goals every 2 or 3 game weeks from his 4.5 midfield, for 4.5 attacker. You want him as your substitute, and probably you have a very strong 5 playing midfield and 2 attacker. A goal or an assist every 2 or 3 games is what I'm looking at. The next 3 fixtures are very tough, so if you bring him in on your wild card, don't really get frustrated if he doesn't score in the next 3. For a very long term prospect, he's really good. Reece James, if Chilwell is out, play Reece James. He's probably going to start. Long term, I feel like Reece James is going to be rotated very often, so probably avoid and sell as soon as you can. This week, just look out for Chilwell. That's it. James or Robo this week. Robertson for sure. Okay, guys, that's it from my side. We'll wrap up the stream here. See you guys on the deadline stream, and if you like the stream, do hit the like button. This is FPL Tips signing off. Cheers.